Hello everybody, today we are going to review the movie Doomsday. So this is kind of like a post-apocalyptic, also end-of-the-world sort of deal movie. It's kind of gives me some Mad Max vibes, if you've ever seen the movie Mad Max. It's definitely kind of like a mix between that and a pandemic movie, which, I mean, is almost oddly, I forgot that this movie was based on a actual pandemic happening in a part of the world, so I guess it kind of seems fitting, seeing as we are going through that right now, it seems. But anyhow, so this movie is about the Reaper virus taking over Scotland back in 2008, and it basically wipes out the entire population of Scotland, or at least they think. So it's very chaotic at the beginning. This mother gives up her little girl to these soldiers, and they train her over the years to become an assassin, I guess, in some sort of way. Or, yeah, I guess she was an assassin when she grows up. So it goes from 2008 to the beginning virus outbreak to talking about the last of the population on the other side of the walls. The fires died out, and they didn't know there was anybody alive over there until now the year, I believe it was 2035 was the year that they showed on the screen. So it's years later now. The little girl is all grown up. The last of the remaining people are basically being wiped out before they can even reach the wall. Over the years, obviously, until there was no mention of people until 3 years before the year 2035. They began to see people moving around in Scotland. So obviously they think there is some sort of cure over there due to the doctor who was working on the virus trying to find a cure before the mass outbreak, and they closed down the entirety of Scotland by basically building a wall around it and closing it out to let any other survivors out of Scotland and into any other surrounding countries. So Eden and her team, even though she goes by Major in this film until we find out her name is Eden near the end of the film, go in to find Kane, who was the doctor that was trying to find a cure for the virus. And unfortunately, things go really badly for them when they run into this cannibalistic tribe on the other side of the wall, run by this man named Soul, who wants to know how they got there, why they had the fancy weaponry and the fancy vehicles. And she tells them that they came from the other side of the wall, and he says he knew it, that King was lying to them all these years, and that there was definitely a way to get to the other side of the wall and find their salvation. But he said that he isn't going to go it alone because he's watched too many of his friends turned into fire when they get close to the wall, and basically they fall as ash. That was the line that he said. It was definitely a very powerful line in the movie as far as that goes. I mean, it kind of sucks for these people because they've had to live almost 20 years basically going, it seems, backwards as far as civilization goes, because they've had to turn to cannibalism, and their Cain is basically turned back into medieval times when they get to the other side of Scotland to finally track down Cain, because Soul's sister knows how to get to Cain because Cain is her father and Soul's her brother, so she's trapped in the middle of their war for power of Scotland, basically, because Cain's trying to keep everybody on this side of the wall, and he says that there was no cure ever. It was just kind of survival of the fittest over the years as to how they survived. So basically, there were people that were obviously immune to the Reaper virus, and now that it's back, it's plaguing London. So they're trying to find a cure. So eventually, near the end of the film, after uh, Eden has killed Soul's wife and escaped from Soul's, I don't know whether you would call it, I guess prison is basically what he had them in. Uh, she's able to find Cain and take Cain's daughter. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Take Cain's daughter to the people that are looking for the cure, and obviously, because these people were immune to the virus, their blood is going to be used as a vaccine, or they can make a vaccine from these people's bloods, or at least her blood, because she's the only one that they have to use. So the guy that has taken over for the original Prime Minister, his name was... Where is he here? Oh yes, Canaris is the guy that takes over for the Prime Minister, and basically he was going to be like the savior, I guess, after the virus had wiped out everybody that it could. He would then produce the vaccine to the people that had survived. Basically, it was kind of like big government making them live in fear until the point where they couldn't anymore, and then they had to get the vaccine, sort of thing. So I guess he could maybe sell it for a higher price. I'm not really sure what his ultimate plan was. But anyhow, Eden stays in Scotland. She goes to the place that she was born. The guy that she was with throughout the entire movie, I'm just going to call him Bill. I guess he was kind of like her caretaker, or maybe like she had some sort of personal connection with him anyway, because he was there when she was doing the first mission at the beginning of the movie, when her one team member died. At the beginning, he was there from the beginning and basically says, if you keep going the way you're going to be a very screwed up individual, so go home, get some rest. And then unfortunately he has to call her back in for this mission, so I'm sure that didn't help. But anyhow, Soul ends up dying in a car chase before she's able to deliver Soul's sister to Canaris. And she then takes the head of Soul back to his, I guess I'll call him a tribe or group. And she says, if you want some food, why don't you try to taste to your friend? Because in the beginning of the movie, he cooked one of her crew that she took over to the other side of the wall. So now she's returning the favor, and basically, I guess she's going to become the leader of Soul's tribe. I don't know how she's going to live out that life, but maybe she'll make some changes as to how they go about doing their business, because it's pretty sadistic the way they do it in this movie. But yeah, this was this on my list of all-time favorite movies is number 2, right next to The Punisher. I can't remember what movie it was the other day that I said was my number 3. But yeah, I will have to... I think I already reviewed it and said it was my number 3 next to The Punisher and Doomsday. So yeah, but this is my second favorite movie of all time. And I think I've covered pretty much everything that I can in this movie. But yeah, if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend this one. It's definitely action-packed from beginning to end, and there's a lot of suspense in certain scenes, and it kind of leaves you guessing as to what's going to happen. And it seems like civilization has almost gone backwards as opposed to forwards, obviously, on one side of the wall. And obviously they're trying to make it go forward on the other side of the wall, but now because they're being plagued by the virus, who knows what's going to happen in the surrounding countries around Scotland. They may end up going back in time too with weaponry and things, because they're going to run out of resources, right? Eventually, if your country is closed off or wiped out entirely, things start to run out, and then poverty becomes a thing. And obviously, that's what happened in Scotland when they closed it off and thought that there were no survivors. So, yeah, I think I've covered everything in this movie. Uh, 10 out of 10 is my rating. This movie is excellent. I enjoy it every time I watch it, and I hadn't seen it in quite some time, so I'd actually forgotten bits and pieces of the story. So it was like watching the film all over again for the first time, which is nice. I like doing that with certain films, especially ones that I like. I don't like to wear them out. View them once or twice, within like a. Don't watch them over and over and over again. I know I've done that with some of my favorite films, and it's just kind of ruined it for me because I'm like, oh my god, I've seen this so many times in 1 year that I don't know if I can handle watching it again for a long time. So it's nice to go back and watch films that are your favorites once in a while so that you don't completely kill it for you and ruin the movie for yourself. But yes, please go see this movie if you haven't seen it, and also like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this film if you have seen it. Can't talk. If you have seen it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.